Welcome to Real Talk, Real Women. My name is Miriam Khalladi and today we have fitness, nutrition and weight loss expert Natalie Jill on the show. Welcome Natalie, how are you?
Thank you. Good. Thanks for having me.
Oh, you're most welcome. You became a fitness model at age 39. Tell us how that happened, Natalie.
Well, it's interesting actually. I was always into fitness and working out, but never on the fitness modeling side. It was never really my career. I was full-time working in sales, in medical device sales, so something totally unrelated. But I had a daughter, went through a divorce, and was going through a really rough time in my life, and decided this was the time to just really take care of myself, get myself back in shape, because it was the one thing I could control and focus on. And when I did that and I achieved my goals that way, I started thinking about the idea of fitness modeling. And it was interesting because everyone I knew said, you're too old, you can't do that, no one wants a 39-year-old fitness model. So it was more of a challenge initially. I didn't feel old.
No.
And I thought, why can't I?
Yes, of course. And you were going through a divorce, you struggled financially while working full-time and you had an autoimmune disease. You could have made a lot of excuses, but you didn't. You decided to change things. Unfortunately, that is not the story of most people. Why do many people hold on their excuse rather than make a change?
So, it's very comfortable for people to live with their excuses. It gives people an out of why they don't have to do the work. If you listen to your excuses, you have a reason. For me, my motto is excuses or solutions, you decide, because I'm not into that. I'm not into just saying this is too bad for me, woe is me. It's really not going to change anything. So I firmly believe that if somebody wants something bad enough, no matter who you are, no matter what your situation or circumstances, there's a solution. And, it might take you longer, it might be harder, might be more work, it might be more painful, whatever it is, but there's still a solution for everybody.
Yeah, I agree. At one point, you were over 60 pounds heavier. If you look back at those pictures with your little girl, do you even recognize yourself?
I don't. And it's funny, even today I was going through pictures for a new book I have coming out, and I was looking for pregnancy pictures, and I found one of when my daughter was not a baby and I was bigger too. And I shocked myself because, I forever have kept improving since. So, I didn't recognize myself then. I didn't feel good about myself. And I did have that voice in my head of maybe it is my age. Maybe it's true. You have a baby and this happens, but it's not true. And if you are determined and you work hard at it, you can make a change.
You just mentioned about that you're working on your book. Can you tell us something about it?
Sure. I have several books out right now. My most popular one is my 7-Day Jumpstart program. And that's a lifestyle program that teaches women how to eat, to not only lose the weight, but to keep it off and make it a lifestyle. It also has a very important part, and it's really what we've been talking about. It's a goals section. So how to figure out what your true goals are and make a plan. Because that's actually even more important than following a diet. Because if you don't understand your goals and how to accomplish them, you'll never follow a diet or a workout plan. So I do have several books out, but I have some new ones in the works. My next one that will be launched in the next few weeks is my Body After Baby book that I'm doing with another fitness person who just had twins.
So. Great, amazing. Tell us about some of the changes you made. You started using vision boards, starting thinking more positively. What had the biggest impact?
So, as somebody that was always in sales training and sales development for years, what I'd always taught sales reps was that you can achieve anything you want if you plan it out and use vision boards and write out your goals. So when I was in my depression with myself and my life, when I hit that rock bottom, it occurred to me that I had been teaching so many years to other people to do goals and vision boards, but I wasn't myself doing that now with my personal life. So that was a huge change for me because I remember the day clearly, sitting there, going through magazines, picking out pictures of what I wanted my life to feel like and creating that board. And when you can visualize it next to you every day, it makes it a lot easier to work towards it. The biggest problem people have is if they've never felt good about themselves or they've never been in a spot where they were happy, it's very hard to imagine getting there. So a vision board is a great tool that helps you with that because it allows you to have something to look at, to work towards.
In summary, you did the work. Even if people don't hold on their excuses and decide to take action, many of them go looking for a quick fix. Why is it so important to put in the work and look at this process as a journey?
Sure. Quick fixes don't work. They just don't work, period. There's a million pills, whatever, that claim that they're going to work. They don't work. If they did, there wouldn't be a million of them. There'd be one that everyone does. They don't work. They're now not a long-term solution. Nothing in life is free and nothing is easy. If you want something, you got to do the work. So you're going to get the results that you put out there. If you find some quick starvation fix and you can get into a tiny dress in a week, your rebound is going to be a lot greater. It's going to catch back up to you. When you put in the work and you go through the process, it lasts longer and it allows you to be more flexible. For instance, I've even changed my body over the last year pretty dramatically. And it used to be right before a photo shoot a year ago that the whole week before I would, really watch everything I was eating. I would manipulate my water. I would even sometimes take like herbal supplements to get the water out of my body. And I would feel sick all week just to look good for this shoot. Now, it doesn't matter what I eat before the shoot because I work so hard all of the time that it's pretty consistent that I could have something horrible for me the night before and it's not going to affect how I look because I put in the hard work all of the time rather than trying to cram it all into a week. That makes sense.
Yes, absolutely. You also talk about the importance of self-accountability. Can you explain in your own words what that means to you? What the first step would be someone can take who wants to be more self-accountable?
So self-accountable means that you are the reason you are successful or you are a failure. It's nobody else's fault ever. It's nobody else's fault. Whether you are the top person in your job, you've won a contest, or you are in financial ruins, it is your fault. Until you accept accountability and own that you're in control of that, nothing will change. The blame game is a waste of time because who cares that somebody else did something else? It doesn't matter. Until you are accountable for your own successes and failures, nothing will change. So the most important step with making a change is to stop saying that so-and-so caused you to be this way.
I totally agree. Thank you. Tell us a bit more about your autoimmune disease, celiac sprue. What exactly is it? How did you discover you had it and how did it affect your life?
Sure. So celiac sprue is an autoimmune disease, which means any autoimmune disease means your immune system does not react the way that a healthy person's would. We respond differently to some things. All autoimmune diseases are connected. They are very different in symptoms, but they are connected. For instance, rheumatoid arthritis, MS, type 1 diabetes, celiac, they are all autoimmune diseases. Highly genetic. So I happen to be a celiac, which means my body doesn't recognize gluten. So gluten is the protein found in wheat, rye, and barley. So if I eat that, my immune system acts up and attacks my own body. So for years before I knew I had celiac sprue, I was sick all the time. And things would range from stomach aches to swollen lymph nodes to just really getting physically sick where you feel like you have the flu. Eliminating gluten from your diet makes those symptoms go away with celiac. If I were to start consuming gluten again, those symptoms would come back. Most autoimmune diseases, although all are not told to eliminate gluten, they all do better without gluten.
I read about how you were unsure what you had and how you were afraid it might be your heart or maybe cancer. Even doctors misdiagnosed you and put you on the wrong medication. Do you think a lot of people walk around with or misdiagnosed diseases? And what advice could you give them?
Yeah, you have to be your own health advocate, always. I get numerous emails of crazy things that doctors have told people about their own health. And most people either are diagnosed from a doctor too late or they have figured out on their own what was going on. There is absolutely a place for medical doctors. I am not saying that there's not a place for them, but they are trained to treat symptoms and they are trained to diagnose and prescribe medicine. They are not trained on lifestyle necessarily. So sometimes they leave out very important questions like nutrition. So when you go in complaining of a pain, to me, the first question should be, what did you eat or what are you eating? And a lot of times they don't ask that. So it's very important to be your own health advocate. I've got several stories just in my life personally, not only my own diagnosis, but my father, for instance, he went into a doctor the day before he died saying he had shortness of breath, and they told him he had hay fever, and he died the next day of a heart attack.
I'm so sorry.
Then I've got my mom who was told she had type 2 diabetes, given a horrible diet and medication to help counter that. And she didn't want to take the medication. I didn't want her following that diet. I tweaked her diet, changed it. She no longer needs the medicine and is no longer showing any signs of type 2 diabetes. And then, I'm sure everybody has stories in their life of a family member that had to take their health in their own hands and do their own self-diagnosis. So, my advice to people is when something doesn't feel right, it's not right, and you have to stay on top of it. And if you're not getting the answers you're looking for from your doctor, do your own research and find a new doctor.
Yes, right. And I'm sorry about your father.
Thank you.
You never thought you would be a fitness model, but you're much more than that. You also mentor many people toward a better health and life. What drove you to wanting to help others?
Well, so first and foremost, I wouldn't even really, yes, I do fitness modeling, but that's not who I am and that's not my career. I do that, it's enjoyable, and I do that to help me keep my name out there and to do other things. But my drive is really the nutrition, and I'm very interested in nutrition, and I'm very interested in preventative through nutrition. So it's a fun thing for me for people that want to make a change to help figure out their formula. And I do not like working with clients that don't want to find a formula. So any client that's, this won't work for me and I've tried everything, and if they're closed-minded from the beginning, I really don't want to work with them. But when they're really serious about change and they want a solution, that's the most enjoyable part of my job.
I also love your thinking around making your own luck. You decided to do the work. You decided you would be successful. How can the women watching start making their own luck like you did?
So the first thing is you need to decide that you're going to be something or you're going to do something, and you have to go back to that accountability thing. Until you take ownership that you're in your situation because you put yourself there and forgive and let go of everyone else you're blaming, nothing's going to change. That is the first step, and it's the thing most people skip. Nobody's going to discover you. Nobody's going to save you. Nobody's going to pick up the pieces for you. No one's going to hand you a lump of money and solve your problems. It's not going to happen. So you have to decide that you're going to change and that you are going to be accountable for making that happen. That's the first step. And, as soon as you start doing that whole but this, but that, that's the problem.
Where can people go to connect with you online?
So NatalieJillFitness.com have links to all my blogs, all my videos, all my books, and all my social media. So I'm on Instagram, I'm on Facebook, and you can find everything from NatalieJillFitness.com.
Great. I will make sure to put all the links below this video.
Thank you.
Is there anything else you would like to talk about today that you feel we've missed, Natalie?
No, I think you covered a lot. You did your research on me, so I'm impressed.
Thank you so much, Natalie. It was an absolute pleasure to have you on the show.
Thank you.
And thank you so much for watching. My name is Miriam Khalladi, and I will see you on the next episode of Real Talk, Real Women.